Hello friends, we have already done different type of operations in context to Python, list, dictionaries, tuples. So for that reason I thought of doing a small warm-up where we will try to access the element that is present within the list called student. So student is a list, and that list consists of dictionaries. If you look at the content of the dictionary, you will find that it has a value in the form of string, a value in the form of a list, as well as a value in the form of inner dictionaries. So in fact this particular content has got varieties of data. So now comes the question, how do I operate on these so that we can get some fact based on some questions. So for that reason I've written a while loop over here where I have placed some questions like option 1, get the student name. So if I go for option 1, it will print out, the output should be just the student name. So let's see how is that going to work. So let me run the code, and here it comes, and this is a menu driven program. So it is going to ask me enter which particular number you want, which choice you want. So I want to go for option number 1, get student name. So as an output I can see I got the name as Peter Parker, Kabir Khan and John Doe. That is right in these 3 different dictionaries. So how did I manage to achieve this is what we are going to see now. So here the while loop start, it asks you to enter the choice, and you give a choice that is 1. So let me expand this. Now let's look over here what we have got. I have created one reference of type list, okay, because I will be storing multiple names, so I need a container that can hold all those names. At this point of time what I'm doing is that I'm running a loop, iteration or iterable. So student is an iterable because student is a list, so we can iterate. So in this particular segment what we are doing, in each iteration it is going to pick up one row at a time. So it's a list, and that list has got dictionaries. So at the first iteration it picks up this single dictionary that got stored inside this, right? Okay, that's great. And now I'm giving a call to a function called get underscore student underscore name. So inside this I have got one dictionary, that is what right over here, and that is what I'm passing, and that's the reason why I have a parameter over here, parameter over here in the form of dictionary. I accept that. Got it? So inside the dictionary I have got this entire stuff. So now I can specifically mention in the form of index. Over here I'm using the key as an index. So give me the value of the following key. The key name is called name, present inside the dictionary called student. So this is going to return me the name called Peter Parker, and that name I'm storing inside this particular string variable. And I will be coming across more names. For that reason I created this empty list where I'm storing that name in the form of append. Okay, so the first name Peter Parker got stored. Again the iteration went off, it picked up the second dictionary inside this particular reference called student, and that's what I'm forwarding to the function, and the dictionary came right over here. So from here I'm picking up the name based on the key called name, and I got the data called Kabir Khan, which is basically a string. That's the reason this particular function is returning a string value, and that I got over here, and that again I appended along with the previous entry that was Peter Parker. So Peter Parker along with that Kabir Khan got inserted. So again it went off for the last dictionary, whereby I would be able to retrieve the name that is called John Doe, and that what would be returned over here, that would be appended inside the list. And so now the list is completely done. So the control will come out of this iteration, and then it will come to this particular print statement. If I just printed this particular reference, it would have shown me within third bracket, and that do not look so customized, right? So for that reason, I gave a call to the join function where I'm passing I'm providing a comma as a separator in between the names, and eventually we got the output like this. The first name Peter Parker came, followed by a comma and a space. Look over here, space is also there. Kabir Khan, followed by a comma and a space, and John Doe. This is looking much better than the third bracket. It would just print within third bracket. It's not going to look that professional. Okay, so that's how we print the name from a list that contain dictionaries. Okay, fine. So let's move on to the next choice. So let me clear this for a better output. Get student y skill. So let's run the code and let's see what does this option means. So let's press option number 2, and as I do that, it's going to show me what are the skills that Peter Parker has got. Peter Parker knows Python and SQL, right? As you can see, Peter Parker has got Python, SQL. Kabir Khan has got Python Django, and John Doe has got Python Django SQL. So I just want to print the name of the candidate, along with that what skill those candidate contains. That what I want to reveal. So let's come to the option number 2 now. Again, it will be having multiple data. So for that reason, again I created one list over here. These are local lists to the local scope. Okay, so as usual, I have to go for iteration. So from the student, I'm sending one student at a time, and that student, let me close this, that student is coming over here. Remember, each time I'm sending one dictionary. Okay, that's great. So I'm sending a dictionary, and now I have to pick up from this dictionary the name, as well as the key is called name and the other key is called skill. I need to pick up both. I need to return both, isn't it? I need to return both. So what I'm returning over here, I'm returning a list. But am I returning only list? If you look over here, I have got 2 items that I'm returning. So how do you manage to return 2 items in the form of a list? And that is something very interesting. Okay, that's really very interesting. So I'm going to return these 2 things together. So that means Python is giving us a benefit compared to other programming language where you can return just one value, but I can return multiple value at the same time. So that's what I'm returning over here. I'm returning Peter Parker, Kabir Khan, and John Doe, along with that respective skills: Python SQL, Python Django SQL. So collectively, how do I accept this? And that's what we will be seeing right over here. So here the data got stored in the form of a list. Okay, so before I go and print this, so if you look over here, I want to print this output to show you that how again each iteration will return me individual record, and that I need to append. So now what I want to do is that we can see over here Peter Parker has got following skill, Kabir Khan has got following, and John Doe has got these skills. So that's how this particular loop is working. But what I would prefer is that I will comment this one and uncomment the raw data that we have received over here to show you something really amazing. Okay, let me show you that. Let me clear up this and let me run the code again. For clarity, I'm doing it. And look over here, something so interesting. Let me expand this a bit to make you see. See, after all, it is returning a list. Undoubtedly, it's returning a list, but the list has got multiple data. So how it is managing, and that's where the tuples comes in picture. See, that means Peter Parker is coming from the name and the skill, which is actually a list. So that's what is returning, but I have to make it as a whole, and that's where the tuples comes up. So it's going to create one tuple for one particular candidate. Similarly, another tuple for the next candidate, and last tuple for the last candidate. So that means what not is over here. You have a string, you have also a string in the form of a list. You wrap up the whole thing inside a tuple, and that tuple you are sending back in the form of a list of tuples. That is something what actually strike me, and that's the reason why I thought to come up with this recording, to make you understand that when you try to send multiple data, how exactly Python manages the work. Okay, isn't it great? So over here we got this particular name. Now what we are going to do is that we are going to run this particular loop, because we have to extract these individual value from the list. So let me comment this one. So remember, this is a list that has got tuple, and the tuple has got 2 data. So one is the name, the other one is skill. I am going to separate them. So here you can say like a destructuring is happening. It contains one, and but inside that you have got multiple, so I'm going to destructure that so that I can print them individually in a much more presentable manner, like what you are seeing right over here now. See, a candidate name followed by the respective modules what he or she knows, and this is all possible because you can go for this destructuring. That means from this list that contains the tuples, I can extract the individual like you can say the individual index wise. So the first index was name, the second index was skill. I can extract that, and then we can join them together to come up with the following output, which is really looking good, isn't it? So I believe you can understand the relevance of this particular video, why I'm making this video, just to make you understand that how exactly inside the inside you can with this kind of data you will be having when you get the data from API, and so naturally you have to go for parsing, and while you have to do the parsing, what kind of thing you have to take care about. Okay, so with that we come to an end of the option number 2, and now we move to the option number 3, where we will be getting what? We will be getting student wise skill and certificate. Great. So let me show you that. Let me again clear off, and let me run the code again, and this time I'm going for the option number 3, and it's going to show me the scorecard even, that this particular student who is taking this particular skills has got the following record. And this is what something is again going to be really amazing. Okay, so let's explore the option number 3 now. So come over here again. I have to create an inner list because it will return multiple data. I need to store them. Again I'm going for iteration. That's very obvious because I have to access the individual dictionary, and in each iteration it is picking up one dictionary at a time and is storing inside the student. Really great, right? And then again I'm giving a call to a function which I have created, and here I'm passing a dictionary. So let's come and see what this function is going to do. Nothing big deal. It accepted the dictionary and it is sending me back the individual index wise, first the name, then the skill, and then the certificate. So quite obvious, this time I'm sending 3 record. So the first time I sent only 1, the second time I went for 2, and the third time I went for 3, just to show you how this list is going to play an amazing role. So we saw the output, individual output of a student, but before that, what again I would love to show is that what happens if it does individually. So individually means I'm going to talk about this. So when I'm sending this raw data, what actually happens? Here also we are going to see a list containing tuples. Let's explore that, and then you will get the answer. I click on number 3, and we see exactly the same thing what we saw in the previous occasion, that is returning a list, and the list is going to have, oh my god, what not? It's going to have a string, it's going to have a list that contains string, and it is also going to have a dictionary. So it's a complete package, isn't it? The whole thing is put together into a tuple, and like this all the tuples are placed within a list. Really fantastic the way Python is working, right? And that's the reason why please go through this video, try to do some hands-on in regard to this, so that you can really have a strong grip over the data structure that the Python provides within the collection framework. So over here now we have this particular list, and now we can go for destructuring individually, and then we print them accordingly. So this is a string, that's the reason we are printing directly, but this is a list, so I can go for the join over here to separate them, and that's what I'm doing. And this is again a dictionary, so I'm printing the dictionary back together. So let me show you this output once more, because it really looks so neat and clean. So I go for the option number 3. Look over here, the first one is a string, that's how it got printed. The second one is again a list, so we have got the join function over here, and the third one is a dictionary, so we are printing the dictionary as a whole. Okay, that's really interesting. Okay, so now we move to the last one. Well, this is not the last one. In fact, I have thought to add a few more functionalities, but the fourth functionality I will explain in my next video. But I will show you the output, what the fourth functionality is going to do, so that you would love to see the next video. And see, the option number 4 is going to tell me who is, each candidate is getting the highest score among which particular domain. Like Peter Parker is having a knowledge of both Python and SQL, but he got the score highest in that is on Python, and that's what it is showing. The Peter Parker has got the highest score among his skills, and that's what the value is, which skill he has got the highest, that you need to project this time. So again, in context to Kabir Khan, he is having the knowledge in two different domains, but the highest he got in Python, and that's 91. And same goes for John Doe. He has got 3 skill, but out of that the highest he got from SQL, and that's what you need to show. That means you have to show all the skills that the candidate has got, and from there you have to figure out the highest that the candidate is obtaining, and that what would be the content of my next video. Not only this, I have decided to add few more functionalities so that we can see few more complex way of operating our list that contains dictionaries. Okay, so that's all from this video presentation. Make sure you go through it so that you really have a strong grip over this kind of data access. Okay, see you next time. Bye bye.